Hey y'all, Natalie here today. We are celebrating Rebecca Moore. She has reached 500 subscribers on YouTube and her Instagram is Precious Pages Papercraft. And this is the layout that I am scrap lifting from her today. So let's get started. She does really beautiful mixed media work and you know I love mixed media. So I decided to do these two photos of my sons eating sushi and I'm using the Hey There Dumpling stamp set from Catherine Pooler, which you saw that I had already stamped in kind of 5 different rainbow colors. And now I'm getting ready to use the same colors on the background. So I want to do a stenciled piece like she had in her original layout. So I chose this really cool dotted background stencil from Kaisercraft. But I'm actually doing like the opposite imprint of the stencil. So I'm putting the ink on the stencil and then I'm using it kind of as a stamp on the background. So it ends up not giving me a really super distinct impression, which is fine. But I do end up layering it up. So I use it as watercolors here. And I do 5 different rainbow colors all across. And then I'm going to go back through when it dries and use the stencil again and rub the ink through the holes. So I'm using those 4 Catherine Pooler inks that you see laying there, as well as the new Kish Flamingo Distress ink from Tim Holtz. And I spilled my water everywhere. That was a nice big mess to clean up. So here we are. And my orange is looking a little dingy. I don't think I cleaned my stencil really great from the blue, but I add water and it kind of gets the dinge away. And like I said, I go back over it later with ink through the stencil. So that helps as well, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm just using a little foam pad to rub the ink through the stencil and adding just another layer of color onto the background. So in Rebecca's original layout, she has a white piece of paper with stenciling in a rainbow pattern, and then it is sewn on top of some distressed black and white paper. So I'm gonna trim this up here and I'm going to sew it with some distressed a black and white piece of paper that is like small little polka dots, which actually I thought mimicked the stencil really well. And I'm going to add that to the top and the bottom once I cut this paper up. And then we're going to adhere that whole piece to another separate piece of white cardstock. And you can see a little bit, I have already put white gesso down there. You can see there's the sewn piece of paper. So now I'm going to bring the colors down below a little bit, just like the example layout. And I'm going to match them up with a stenciled portion and just do a little messy watercolor underneath, and then as well as some splatters. And with this distress ink, it wasn't giving me the pigmented color that I wanted, so I end up just scraping it directly onto the page and then adding water to turn it into watercolor. And I like the level of color that I got from doing that. So as you saw at the beginning of my layout, I had already used all of these same colors to stamp the Hey There Dumpling stamp set. So I used mostly just the wontons and the fortune cookie and the sushi and then the sake bottle, which obviously my kids aren't drinking sake, but it's just cute. And they have like little faces that you put on them, like the kawaii drawings. So I did them in all the same colors as this background, and I'm going to go and kind of color block them. So put them on the same sections of the layout to which the colors correspond. So I let that dry, and I'm really loving how that looks. And I'm going to adhere down the really big, before that, I'm going to add black splatter because we are highlighting it with black and white. And so I just love that little pop that the black splatter gives. And I adhere down the large piece there. What are we doing here? Oh, I was really nervous because I had made a mess spilling that water. I didn't want to ruin my background when I turned it over to put the adhesive on the back. So I just did it on top of that scratch piece of cardboard. That cardboard is from my Cherry on Top packages because they're super great about packaging their stuff so that nothing gets bent and nothing gets wet. So reuse it. So now I'm going to start building the layout, and I back both of the photos just on some white cardstock and layer them together. And then my title is going to be Rice Rice Baby. So I just grabbed some polka dot alphas that actually corresponded really well with that pattern paper for the word baby. And then I used these really old Remarks black alphas from American Crafts to say rice rice. just because I had a ton of those. So I don't have to worry about, do I have all these letters still? But they do require lots of adhesive to stick down. They're not going to stick on their own. And this layout was so fun. So make sure you hop over and congratulate Rebecca on reaching 500 subscribers. I know that is a super big milestone and she's really excited. And also she has amazing content, so you should definitely like and subscribe to her channel. And that's just like a die cut. In her example, she had a few pieces of black behind the photos. So I grabbed a couple die cuts from my stash. That one says what the, and so my little guy gets in trouble for saying that a lot. So I'm not going to use it on a layout. I feel like that would encourage him to say something he's not supposed to. So I just used it as a layering piece because you can't tell what it says, and it just kind of gives a little pop of black behind the photo there. Now I'm going through and adding in all the die cutted stamps, and I was going to do some stamps without the faces, but they're just so cute, and plus that helps sprinkle the black around the page as well. I thought about putting some black splatters on that background portion, but I changed my mind. I feel like the black of the little faces is enough. And off camera, I did add a few cardstock stickers, mostly from Pink Fresh Studio, because they have my favorite phrases, all kinds of little things that are unique to say. But I just picked some that were like about trying new things or eating, because I'm so glad that I finally raised two kids that enjoy eating sushi, because we like all kinds of fun foods, and it is a victory for me when they want to eat sushi. So thank y'all for watching. I'm going to link Rebecca's channel down below, so please check her out and subscribe. Bye y'all.